Okay. The 11th day of the fifth regular session of the 21st Congress will now come to order. May we all bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer. Okay, Chief Clerk, roll call.
What day is this? 11? 11.
Senator Aritas,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Figuer,
Yes.
Senator Coolant,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper,
Aye.
Senator Kunman,
Hey.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Net, Senator Palit,
Yes.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal,
He's on the phone.
Senator Wally,
Yes.
Speaker Simina,
Yes.
Mrs. Speaker.
Okay, we do have a quorum to transact business this morning. Next item. Take note, Chief Clerk, that Chairman Romulo is going out to the Outer Islands to attend, accompanying the remains of the late Logobuen. Okay. Reading of the journal, Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you and all honorable members, staff, everyone who's observing our remote sessions wherever they may be. I move now to dispense with the reading of the journal.
It's been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 5, Presidential Communications, in receipt of number 21-413.
Okay, assigned that, Chief Clerk. Make sure the resolution is done as soon as possible so it can be introduced. Okay, next item.
Item 6, Everson Supreme Court Communications. We have number 21-17.
Okay, assigned that, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 7, Member Communications, none. Item 8,
Continue.
Departmental Communications, also none. Item 9, Agency or Governmental Authority Communications, none. Item 10, State Communications, also none. Item 11, State Supreme Court Communications, none. Item 12, Municipal or Town Communications, none. And item 13, Foreign Government Communications. We're in receipt of number 21-51. Town Communications, none.
Signed that, Chief
And
Clerk.
item 13, Foreign
Okay,
Government Communications.
Order of the day.
We're in receipt
Standing
of
committee
number
reports,
21.
any reports,
Town
Chief Clerk?
Communications, none. For standing committee reports, we do not have any, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, item 15, special committee reports. Any report, Chief Clerk?
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet 21-103.
Okay, Chairman and members of the committees, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 18, bill calendar.
Okay, short
Mr.
recess.
Speaker,
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. So let's do the Congress is back in session. We run the bill calendar for Leader Harper. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the recalling of Act number 21-193.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded that Congress requests the President to return Act number 21-193. That motion is not debatable, so we will vote by delegations. Chief Clerk, roll call.
State of Chuk for recall of the budget act, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Amen.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Orsmal.
I again defer the vote to the chairman of Ways and Means.
Chairman Figueroa.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in affirmative.
For that reason, the motion to request the President to return Act number 21-193 is adopted by Congress. The bill in its original form before it became Bill 21-302, not CD1, just 302 is now placed automatically on the bill calendar for second and final reading action. So, Chief Clerk, title of Bill 21-302. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Is that the proper Conference is back in session. We're still on the bill calendar. First bill, Chipper. I think it's 286, right?
Yes, 286, and somebody should amend, offer Vice Speaker's amendment.
Speaker.
No recess, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess.
What's Vice Speaker amendment?
Conference is back in session. Chipper, first bill.
Mr. Speaker, we're going to follow the calendar as it goes down. So
Yes.
let's start with 21-286 for second reading. CP number 21-286. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-124 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-133, 19-140, 19-150, 20-5, 20-15, 20-33, 20-48, 20-63, 20-71, 20-156, 70-175, 21-22, 21-52, and 21-146 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the allotment of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other programs in the state of Chuuk and for other purposes.
Chairman Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CB number 21-286. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker,
Chairman Perlin.
thank
Chairman
you very
Perlin,
much,
you have the
Speaker.
floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I have a floor amendment to hover on behalf of Vice Speaker Moses.
Proceed.
It's kind of lengthy, so I'm gonna ask this person reading of it. I so move for the floor amendment.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt on the offered floor amendment by Senator Moses, as offered by, on his behalf by Chairman Perlman. Discussion. Florida Arbor, any motion to suspend?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we suspend any and all relevant rules that may impede our action on the said amendment, especially the one that prohibits substantive amendment on second reading.
Second.
And moved and seconded that all relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor of that motion say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended. So discussion on the offered floor amendment. Discussion. If none, there's an objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered floor amendments are adopted. We now have CT1. Short recess subject to talk of the chair. Congress is back in session. Any further discussion on the CD1?
Question.
No. There's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Troop, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Fairman. State of Kushai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of
Yes.
Yap, Chairman Ortiz. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
Okay, CP number 21-286, CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 297 for second reading. CP number 21-297. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-54 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-62, 19-75, 19-79, 19-99, 19-119, 20-4, 20-56, 20-82, 20-127, 21-20, 21-117, 21-169, and 21-174 by amending Section 2 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for Yap State and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Fakir.
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Been moved and seconded that CP number 21-297 be passed on second and final reading.
Short recess, please.
Discussion.
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Go ahead, Chairman Ursumal, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move that the said bill 21-297 be deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar. So
Second.
moved.
It's been moved and seconded that CP number 21-297 be deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. CP number 21-297 is deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar. Okay, next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-289 for second reading. CP number 21-289 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 20-141 as amended by public laws numbers 20-145, 20-163, 20-164, 20-190, 21-5, 21-33, 21-48, 21-67, and 21-91 by amending sections 4, 5, and 6 thereof to change use and allotee of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other projects and programs in the state of Chuk or in the states of Pohnpei and Chuk and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Speaker. I move for the passage of Congress Bill 21-289 on second and final reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading. CP number
Recess.
21-289. Any discussion? Short recess.
Chair.
Okay, Congress is back in session. Floor Leader, can you motion to defer?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that bill number
289.
289 be deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that CP number 21-289 be deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. CP number 21-289 is deferred to tomorrow's calendar. Okay, next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-226, CD1, for second reading. This is a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 11-22 by amending sections 1 and 2 thereof in order to increase further from special drawing rights or SDR 5,100,000 to SDR 7,200,000. The membership quota of the Federated States of Micronesia in the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, and for other purposes.
Chairman Taguir.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 21-226 CD1. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Fairman.
Hey, man.
State of Kushai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal.
Vote recess subject to call of the chair. back in session. Continue the roll call. Chief Clerk.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. For State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal.
I yield the floor to Chairman Fugir.
Okay. It's been yielded to you,
Chairman
Chairman Figure.
Yes,
So cast your vote.
yes.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, all the four states voted in favor.
For that reason, CP number 21-226 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-293 CD1 for second reading. CP number 21-293 CD1. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-60 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-65, 20-75, 20-85, 20-97, 20-150, 21-69, 21-84, 21-100, 21-129, and 21-163 by amending Section 4 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs in the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figure.
Move for the passage on second and final reading of the said bill.
Again.
Been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-293 CD1. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuuk, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Amen.
State of Kashai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all the four states voted in favor.
For that reason, CP number 21-293 CT1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 301 for second reading. CP number 21-301. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-10 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-26, 19-42, 19-51, 19-56, 19-72, 19-78, 19-96, 19-132, 19-163, 20-3, 20-25, 20-58, 20-76, 20-116, and 21-29 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the lapse date of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs in the state of Chuuk and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figure.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Any second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-301. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no
Point of
objection.
privilege.
State your point, Floor Leader.
Yeah, I just want to ask, Chief, I was a little careless. What's the number of the bill?
301.
301.
So I have an amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're in recess. Where's your we will. Conference is back in session. We're discussing CB 21-31. Okay, any discussion for the Harbor?
Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a written amendment, which I believe it's already duplicated and distributed. And because of its length, I would request or move that we dispense with its reading. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment by Florida Harbor TCP 21-31 be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Okay, discussion on the offer for amendment. Any discussion? If none, if there is no objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 21-301 say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendment by Florida Harbor to CP 21-301 is adopted. We now have CP1. Any further discussion on CP1? Discussion. If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote by roll call of delegations. Prepared?
State of Joke, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Furman. Yeah. Chairman Net is here.
Casting the vote for Pohnpei.
Oh, where's Chairman Berman? Yes, thank you. Chairman Net, please cast the vote for Pohnpei delegation. Yes.
I
Oh,
apologize. Yes, yes.
State of Koshai, Chairman
Yes.
Wali.
Yes.
Thank you, State of Yap. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
For that reason, CB number 21-301 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-303 for second reading. This is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 21-80 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-99, 21-110, 21-143, and 21-181 by amending Section 3 thereof to change the use of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Koshai State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa. Chairman Figueroa. Okay, Chairman Berman.
No move for the passage of the bill on second and
So-
final reading.
Again.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-303. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker,
Chairman Wale, Chairman Wale.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a written floor amendment to offer to the said bill. Copies
Okay.
have been linked on the portable. I move for its adoption, your Speaker.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment by Chairman Wale be adopted to CP 21-303 be adopted. We will dispense with its reading and the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Okay, discussion on the offer for amendment. Any discussion? If none, if there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 21-303 offered by Chairman Wale, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The other four amendments are adopted. We now have CP1. Any further discussion on CP1? Discussion. If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Clifford?
State of Chuuk, Chairman Aratos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Amen.
State of Kushai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal.
Of course,
Mr. Speaker, all the four states voted in favor.
For that reason, CP number 21-303, CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Next. Okay. Congress is back in session. Chipper, next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-304, CD1 for second reading. CP number 21-304, CD1, it's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 18-70 as amended by Public Laws numbers 18-98, 18-112, 18-122, 1907, 19-24, 19-41, 19-52, 19-73, 19-82, 19-101, 19-114, 19-139, 20-07, 20-16, 20-36, 20-52, 20-84, 21-15, 21-113, 21-123, and 21-175 by amending Section 4 thereof to change the use of certain funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of Pohnpei State and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's
Yeah,
been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading. CP number 21-304, CD1. Discussion. Any discussion on the bill?
Speaker,
If not, Chairman Ursula, you have the floor.
so how much would each of the people in Pohnpei be getting?
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. So let's go back. Conference second session. I've lost my train of thought. Have we made a motion to adopt passage? Okay, discussion? Any discussion?
Question call for?
Questions being called for. If there's no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Deferred.
Kiravchuk, Chairman Aritas,
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman,
Amen.
State of Kashai, Chairman Wali,
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Bursmal,
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, Chief.
okay. Mr. Speaker, all the four states for the four.
For that reason, CB number 21-304 CD1 has passed conference on second and final reading. Next bill.
Short recess, Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Mm.
Okay, let's go back. Conference is back in session. We're still on the fifth one. Next year,
Mr. Speaker, the next bill is CB number 21-302 for second reading. CB number 21-302, it's a bill for an act. This is the one that was just recalled to appropriate $65,760,467 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2021, to provide funding for the operations of all branches of the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia, its agencies, various programs, grants, subsidies, and contributions, and capital and human resources development, and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 21-302. Discussion. Short recess. Figueroa, what's wrong with your camera? It's always off and on. Is it?
It's,
Okay, so let's go back. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing CP 21-302. Chairman Net, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I move for the adoption of my short and controversial amendment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt the offer for amendment to CP 21-302 by Chairman Net. Because it's short, read it, Chief Clerk, into the record.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we have an amendment to page 29, line 2, item H. An amendment by Chairman Net. You delete the figure 2 million and insert the figure 0 in lieu thereof.
Speaker,
Been read into the record, so any motion to suspend?
So move.
Speaker.
Pro Leader Albert,
Yes, just to safeguard, we don't violate any of our rules. I move that we suspend any relevant rule that may impede our action on the said amendment.
Second and final.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that all the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Although I could have just ruled that they are still suspended up to this point, but to be sure. So those in favor of the motion to suspend, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading are suspended. So discussion on the offered amendment and discussion. If none, if there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendment by Chairman Net to CP 21-302, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offer for amendment to CP 21-302 offered by Chairman Net are adopted. We now have CP1. Any further discussion on CP1? Discussion. If none, if there's no objection.
Question.
Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Aye.
Kushai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Ismail.
I yield the floor to Chairman Clear.
Yes,
State of Yap, Chairman Fikir.
yes,
Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in the affirmative.
For that reason, CB number 21-302 CD1 has passed conference on second and final reading. Short recess to call the chair. So let's go back. Conference is back in session. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, if there is no objection, we go down to next item, resolution calendar. Any resolution, Chief Clerk?
Speaker.
Any resolution, Chief Clerk?
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker. Speaker.
Kunan,
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move to withdraw following resolution to place on the order of business for action for today.
and
Resolution number 21-197, 21-198, 21-199, 21-200, 21-201. So move, Mr. Speaker.
second, that's been moved and seconded that
Recess,
the
Speaker.
following resolutions be withdrawn from committees and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Resolution number 21-197, 21-198, 21-199, 21-200, and 21-201.
Here.
Speaker.
According to Harbor,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to suspend any referendum rule that may impede our action on the resolutions, specifically the ones that require certain number of days that resolutions of measure or measures be in a committee before withdrawal.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that the relevant rules,
Yes.
all relevant rules,
Yeah, Speaker.
especially rules pertaining to period of time of measure will be in committee, and rule requiring written report before appeal can be reported out, be suspended. Those in favor of that motion say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Those relevant rules are now suspended. Okay.
Yeah,
short recess.
Speaker.
Call up the chair. So let's go back. Congress is back in session. Chairman Kulan, can you just restate your motion?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move to restate my motion on following bills, additional bills to the resolution. Resolution number 21-193, Resolution 21-202, Resolution 21-205. So
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the main motion be amended to include resolutions 193, 202, and 205. Those in favor of that, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. The main motion is now amended to include those three resolutions. So let's vote. Those in favor of the main motion as amended, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. The main motion as amended is adopted. We now have resolutions 21-193, 197, 198, 199, 200, 201, 202, and 205. Okay, Chief Clerk, first resolution. Short recess subject to call of the chair. Go back. Congress is back in session. First resolution, Chief Clerk.
There are no resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. One 193. Congress is back in session.
Okay.
Chief Clerk, first resolution.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the first resolution is CR number 21-193 for adoption. This is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $250,000 from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration to assist the FSM's Department of Health and Social Affairs State Opioid Response or SOR project for the fiscal year starting October 1st, 2020 and ending September 30, 2021, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Permit.
Yes, I so move for its adoption.
Any second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-193. Discussion. Short recess subject to call of the chair.
Prevention.
Congress back in session. Any discussion on resolution 193? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution 21-193, say aye. Yes.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Motion carried. Resolution number 21-193 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have Congressional Resolution number 21-197 for adoption. This is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration or FAA in the amount of $1,111,111 to provide funding for the project entitled Acquire Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Vehicle for the Yap International Airport, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Hey, Chairman Kulan.
Move for adopt said resolution.
Again, it's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-197. Discussion. Short recess subject to call of the chair. Yep, they don't seem to need it, right, Chairman Rosimong?
We do.
Don't need it, huh?
Oh, cheating.
We do.
So let's go back.
Yeah.
Conference is back in session. Discussion on the resolution. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-197, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-197 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have Congressional Resolution number 21-198. This is a resolution approving and accepting for adoption. This is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, in the amount of $1,111,111 to provide funding for the project entitled Acquire Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Vehicle for the Kushai International Airport, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, Chairman Kulat.
Move for adopt said resolution.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-198. Discussion. I know Kushai needs it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes,
sir.
Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution 21-198, say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
Motion carried. Resolution number 21-198 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Super.
Mr. Speaker, we have Congressional Resolution number 21-199 for adoption. CR number 21-199 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the U.S. Federal Aviation, or FAA, in the amount of $1,666,666 to provide funding for the project entitled Conduct Aeronautical Survey for RNAV approach at Kushai, Pohnpei, and Yap International Airports, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Kulat.
Move for adopt said resolution.
Moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-199. Discussion. Any discussion?
Here.
Yes, Pro Leader Harbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just out of curiosity, how come Chuk is not included?
Chairman Kulat. Why Troop was
There is.
this grant?
No, I mean, how come it's not included?
We have 5 resolutions.
It's coming, maybe,
No, I'm asking about that one particular
Oh,
resolution.
on the 3
How come
states.
Chuk is not included with the 3?
I believe what happened is that after the incidents at the Truk runway, the accident, Truk was already kind of given a priority on that. So I think there's a separate issue for Truk. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-199, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-199 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have Congressional Resolution number 21-200 for adoption, CR number 21-200. It's a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, in the amount of $1,111,111 to provide funding for the project entitled Acquire Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Vehicle for the Chuk International Airport, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, Chairman Kulat.
Move for adopt said resolution.
Been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-200. Okay, any discussion on that? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote by roll call. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-200, say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
Motion carried. Resolution number 21-200 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we have Constitutional Resolution number 21-201 for adoption. This is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, in the amount of $1,111,111 to provide funding for the project entitled Rehabilitate Runway Design for the Koshai International Airport, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, Chairman Kulang.
Move for adopt said resolution.
Has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-201. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker. Yes, Speaker.
Chairman Berman.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very grateful what FAA is doing to all 4 states airport on safety and other needed measures. I would like all 4 states to please start thinking tourism so we can capitalize on all this improvement and safety instead of we're doing it and the flight goes there once every 2 weeks or once a month. So let's please work on our states so people can come and visit us because we have safe airports. So that's what I want to say. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Berman, for highlighting the need for us to be prepared for the returning of our tourism industry. That is the very reason why I was offering that proposed for amendment to provide some money for our states to do their maintenance and improvement works on the terminals themselves, because the runways and the aprons, all those were taken care of by FAA, while we should also take care of our own terminal facilities. And this is the best time to do it, as I was trying to explain, because when we are not receiving numerous flights a day, or we're not getting a week, and we're not getting the people traffic, the regular traffic. So to me, it would be an opportune time to do all the facilities repairs and improvement. But apparently the sense of Congress is that we can do that next month. So I will hold us to that. Okay. So thank you. Yes, Floor Leader Harper, you're trying to say something?
Thank you,
Yes.
Speaker. To say the truth, I have not been thoroughly reading the resolutions on those grants. Is there a lapsing date on all those grants?
No, they don't have a lapse date like we normally do with the bills, because these are grants and they have their own terms and conditions, and they follow those. Yeah. Sometimes they go by different fiscal years, or sometimes they're just available until fully expended. So those are included in the terms and conditions of those grants.
Okay, thank you.
But I guess the question we could have asked is whether we need matching, which is the normal way for all these FAA grants. But I understand we were told by finance in one of the previous hearings that come fiscal year 2021, all the matchings will be waived because of this pandemic and what have you. Okay, so any further discussion on the on this resolution? Questions being called for? There's no objection. Debate is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-201, say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
Motion carried. Resolution 21-201 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have Constitutional Resolution number 21-202 for adoption. This is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $1 million from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, to fund the FSM's Department of Health and Social Affairs System of Care, or SOC, expansion and sustainability project, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
So move for its
Chairman Perman?
adoption.
Any second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-202. Discussion. Any discussion? Short
Yes,
recess.
Speaker.
Chair. Congress is back in session. We're discussing resolution 202. Any 202, any discussion? Chairman Berman?
Yes, Speaker, just to put it on, it's just mainly to fund treatment and prevention services for the children ages from 0 to 21 years old. It's an ongoing
Yes.
project. So, thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Berman, for the explanation. Any other discussion? Discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote those in favor of adoption of resolution 21-202. Say yes. Opposed, nay.
Yes.
Motion carried. 21-202 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
Mr. Speaker, we have Constitutional Resolution number 21-205 for adoption. This is a resolution expressing the sincere congratulations of the 21st Congress of the Federal States of Micronesia to Tame Eric Wakuk, a graduate student from Koshai in the Federal States of Micronesia, who was recently recognized for having one of the top academic records at the Sophia University in Japan.
Okay, Chairman Ursumo.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I shall move for the adoption of the said resolution.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-205. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. session, we're discussing Resolution 205. Any discussion on the resolution? If none.
Question.
there's no
Speaker.
objection. Questions been
Speaker.
called for?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, okay, let's allow discussion again. Senator Balik.
yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. If you could allow me to make a brief statement on this resolution.
Okay, proceed.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, many of us who have had the privilege of attending college or university know very well how difficult it is to achieve a grade point average of 3 point or higher. To graduate from one of the top research universities in Japan with a GPA of 3.93 is simply awesome and remarkable. The circumstances under which Tamae had to study and complete her degree program were indeed very difficult and challenging, yet she never gave up. As parents and leaders, Mr. Speaker, we always preach to our children and our students not to ever give up. In that regard, I thank this young lady for setting a good example and a high standard for others to follow. I am absolutely sure, Mr. Speaker, that
Sorry,
many
this is subject to call of
other
the chair.
FSM students in college
You
Okay.
were- Let's go back. Congress is back in session. You still have the floor, Senator Balik, but please restate your statement because you were frozen out for a while.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I was interrupted, Mr. Speaker, you know, to graduate from one of the top research universities in Japan with a GPA of 3.93 is simply awesome and remarkable. The circumstances under which Tamae had to study and complete her degree program were indeed very difficult and challenging, yet she never gave up. And as parents and leaders, Mr. Speaker, we always preach our children not to ever give up. In that regard, Mr. Speaker, I thank this young lady for setting a good example and a high standard for others to follow. I'm absolutely sure that many other FSM students in college are also doing well academically. I also thank them and encourage them to complete their studies and attend their degrees. For our part, Mr. Speaker, as leaders, we should continue to ensure financial support and assistance and employment opportunities with good salaries after graduation. Mr. Speaker, Tamae's field of study is in environment, biodiversity, and sustainable development, a priority area for our nation related to climate change. She also attained a bachelor's degree, undergraduate degree from the University of Guam in business administration. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to take this opportunity to thank the Micronesia Conservation Trust and the Association for Promotion of International Cooperation, APIC, for their financial support. So Chairman Willie and I take this opportunity to congratulate her, and along with members of Congress, and encourage her in her future endeavors. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Senator Palik. Well said. We appreciate that. And for our part, as you mentioned, we need to continue encourage and support by providing the financial and other needs to our students everywhere. And we ask that we continue to support. And this time, we also take some action. You know, the amount of scholarship we're providing to our students in all the places where we have is something that I'm proud of. I can proudly say that we're doing our part. We have increased the amount for private schools from 600 to 1 million. And we have a very, I think, a large scholarship, national scholarship, 3 million. We have merit scholarship. We have assistance to all this financial assistance to the places where we have students. And I think that's a good thing that we're doing. Okay, any further discussion on the resolution? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution 21-205, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-205 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Okay, we're done with the resolution. So next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
If you have any measure to introduce, pass them on to Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 21, miscellaneous communications. There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, item 22, miscellaneous business. Do you have any miscellaneous business?
Speaker.
Gentlemen, yes, Chairman Berman.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You know, as of yesterday, we had the pharmaceutical bill, the hearing. And I'm sad to say that I'm very disappointed that the Department of Justice, having this bill with us over a few years already, that we've been trying to work on it and come up with, you know, a better bill for our pharmaceutical bill. They always send up people that is actually don't really understand the bill. I don't think they studied. Yesterday, when I turned around, and I was hoping Mr. Pacalanto was here because he was, and Josephine, the two lawyers that's been working with us, with Catherine, and now I have Council Stephanie, that the new person that was here yesterday has no idea whatsoever, kept on repeating that he's going to have to go back. I mean, this is one bill that I know that we, as the chairman of health, I really wanted to get over with and make sure it works. And for them to just send up and then we're going to go back and forth again, it just, to me, it's not right. So I actually asked him to go back, and then I've asked our legal counsel to somehow work with Department. I'm not blaming Department of Health because it's the legal part that we're all concerned about, because that's what we're going to have to work on it and pass it. And that's where all the messed up is. So I'm hoping that next time when we have that hearing again, when they send up people, whoever is working on that bill or drafted the bill, they're the ones supposed to be up here so they can answer our questions, concerns, or questions when we have. So again, Mr. Speaker, yesterday was a disappointment. So I have to call off the hearing and says we're going to have to reschedule. But I asked our legal counsel to work closely with health and then also Department of Justice, whoever is involved in the pharmaceutical. And I believe it was Pacalanto was the one who actually drafted the bill. So thank you, Speaker and members. I'm supposed to be reporting out the bill so we can act on it, but I guess it's going to take a little bit longer again. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Chairman Berman, for the efforts. I know you've been working hard on that, and maybe things will change since the Attorney General just left Chuk this morning. They're on their way back on the patrol boat. So maybe things will improve up there in the Department of Justice. And thank you for don't give up yet. Just keep working on that, and hopefully the legal side of it will be cleaned up when we have the right people come in and work with our own staff attorney. Okay. Any other miscellaneous business? Well, if none, I just want to say a few. Yes, Senator Palik.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You know, I was cut off. I missed the discussion or the action of Congress on CB 21-226 regarding the IMF special drawing rights to increase that. And I just want to briefly state for the record that, you know, one of the things that we should watch as a nation is our debt service. And if you will recall, finance reported to us that our debt to GDP was about 24% and declining as we reduce our obligations outside. My point, Mr. Speaker, is that we should, as a country, continue to manage our debt service, our debt obligations. And I'm sure that there are times when this debts or borrowing is necessary. And at the state level, for example, I think we are at a situation where many of these infrastructure project, for example, water project, could be financed under this larger borrowing financing. All too often, borrowings that are issued under these facilities do not match the needs, especially the priority needs of the state governments. So I think we need to monitor that closely and make sure that our borrowing is done responsibly and that they address the priority needs of our states. It's good to have a low debt to GDP ratio, and I think we're around, I believe, 20%. And I say that also, Mr. Speaker, in relation to the resolution that Congress passed urging the president to work with multinational lenders or institutions to seek debt relief or restructure on certain debt that we incur as a nation. So I just want to state that for the record, Mr. Speaker. I'm sorry that I have to go back, but I was interrupted, couldn't participate in the discussion on that particular bill. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Senator Palik, for that. Yes, I think FSM has one of the best records in the Pacific with respect to our debt ratio to GDP. And I urge that we try to keep it that way. You know, less the state's borrowings or the loans for the states, FSM's probably, national government itself probably less than 10% to GDP if we take it that way. But we have to include our states because they are part of the nation, the country. So we have to, but even at 20%, that's still really good. If we can cope with the 20%, even better. But I agree, we need to also look at our priority infrastructure needs. If they cannot be funded by compact being slow as it is, and by other means, I think we should also look at borrowing, which we did with things like the Petrocorp. We actually authorized borrowing and it's already repaid. And we need to pick the right projects which we can maybe fund through acquiring of debts or loans, portfolios. So thank you for bringing that up. I hope the IMF action on IMF quota that we've done will, improve things even better for the better. And I'm sure the IMF is watching it because we're doing it in such a time when we are, being inundated with pandemic responsibilities. So thank you for the action that we took on that. Any other miscellaneous business?
Speaker.
Yes, Floor Leader Harbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to ask Chairman Furman relating to the pharmaceutical bill, because it's my understanding that the attorney that actually drafted the bill is my constituent, the kind Corsaga Buas. I think he was contracted by the health services to draft that bill. So I want to ask whether he was present in the meeting yesterday or not. Because just maybe last 2 months, he emailed me and asked me about that bill, because he said, how come Congress has never acted up upon it? And I said, well, maybe we need to do more hearing on that. So I would like to ask Chairman Furman if there will be another hearing on that, then maybe we should also invite Consaka Puas. And in addition, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask Chairman Furman as to the status of the kidney facility or kidney machines. I thought we appropriated about 400,000 on that matter, and I want to know the status of of that thing. What's going on now? Are we still expecting someone to come and install the machines or construct the facility?
Okay, Chairman Berman, two things. The pharmaceutical bills, there was a person who was involved with it from the beginning, the drafting, I understand. See if your committee can engage him in some ways to see how we can work with our staff. On the dialysis machines, given where we are in this pandemic, what's the status of that? That's what.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On the first one, being the chairman of health for the past few terms, we've been working, Catherine and I have been working with the Department of Justice and the Josephine and Pacalanto, not the person you mentioned. But as of the dialysis machines, everything is here, but because of the COVID-19, those people that will accompany the machines to do the training for our nurses and doctors couldn't come anymore because of the COVID. So I'm hoping that when this thing is passed, the machines are here, they're ready to, they're the one gonna come and install it and everything, the technicians and everything, but nothing's happening till today, until the travel ban is lifted and people can come, and then that's where we will see. But yes, it's then, and then the private rooms are already been awarded. It's already been groundbreaking, and it's already been on the way. Our morgue, we've expanded, add 2 more morgues to the morgue, and that's also funded by Congress. Thank you very much, Congress, for all the help. Yes, everything is there, ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Merman. So, any other miscellaneous business? Okay, that you mentioned the lockdown, Chairman Berman. I just want to say some things on our declaration resolution. I hope you and our staff working out on a draft resolution that can be introduced. So we need to address that before it expires on the 30th of this month. So we need your committee to take the lead again on that. Hopefully we can also resolve some of the issues that are coming up regarding the lockdown and the acceptance. And I just want to add my congratulations to Chairman Fakir and the Ways and Means Committee, including all the standing committees and special committee, for your hard works on the budget. Thank you very much that we have done that today. We have finished with it. Sorry for the little interruption to the process, but we have to make sure we are okay within our rules. So that was to be done. And again, I want to thank you, members of Congress, for adopting the resolution on our former colleague, the late Peter Sidan. I thank you for adopting that resolution yesterday. I'm glad that it is being presented to the family and relatives. And it is my real sadness that I could not join our colleagues in also up there in paying my last respect to good friend, brother Sidan, Peter Sidan. And finally, I just want to thank Vice Speaker Moses for taking care of our business yesterday. I thank him again and thank all of you for all the artworks the past several months. We were able to produce a budget. Hopefully, the president will sign it as soon as possible so we have an operational budget for the next upcoming fiscal year. Okay, any other miscellaneous business? If none, let's go to announcement. Chairman Wale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No announcement.
Chairman Fakir. Chairman Fakir. What happened? Okay, Chairman Berman.
No announcement.
Thank you. Okay, Chairman Ned, sorry.
No announcement, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Chairman Conman.
No announcement from the special committee. Thank you.
Chairman Ursula. Unmute. We cannot hear you.
Oh.
Okay, start all over again. Announcement.
Members of Committee on E, check the staff. They will be emailing you final draft of the committee report on the special ed money, 1,140,000 some. So please sign, just sign it and return. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ursula. I trust you, so I will sign without reading.
Thank you very much.
Point of privilege, Speaker.
State your point, Chairman Berman.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I've signed the amendment to the resolution for the declaration. I believe everybody has the copy. If you can read it, let me know your inputs. But it's been signed, so if everything's okay, then I can introduce it either tomorrow or Monday. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. That's good to know, good to hear. Thank you for your hard work, Chairman Berman. Okay, Senator Palik, you have any announcement?
Thank you very much, Speaker. No announcement.
Okay, thank you. Senator Chairman Fakir, are you on now? Okay, if not, okay, floor leader, any announcement, then your usual motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No announcement, and I move that we stand in recess until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Time.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning, true time. Those in favor of that motion say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning, true time.